Hello, air signs. This is going to be your elemental air reading for August 2022. This is going to be a general reading for the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Can you believe we are headed to the end of summer already? Time is flying by. That's crazy. I was just talking about the Lion's Gate over on my Twitter account, which occurs on the 8th of August, which is a very powerful portal for manifesting. And we are headed to the, is it called a fall equinox? I think it is. Can you believe that? I'm just astounded by how quickly 2022 is flying by. So anyway, if you are new to my channel here and new to my style of reading, a general reading just means that it's a general reading, and so the messages may not resonate with you. That does require, if you want to look more into your situation, requires a personal reading, which you can find on my website. You can click on the little link up there and it will take you over to my, that's going to pop up the little eye and it will take you over to my website. And so if this does not resonate for you, because this is going to be an air sign like sun, moon, and rising. And so if that doesn't resonate with you, please go back and look at your moon and rising elemental reading. I think that makes sense. So I have with me today the Radiant White deck. We will be clarifying with La Vida Sibila. And I do have the Golden Nostradamus cards here, but we may need to pull a different oracle card, so we'll see. So let's go ahead and turn the camera around. I'm going to do a bit more shuffle. And one more rifle here. And we will lay the cards, okay? So here we go. What is happening for us at the present moment? Possibly the Three of Wands. Not bad. What is at the foundation of this situation, perhaps? Ooh, the Queen of Wands. Wow. Okay. What is the energy of the near or distant past? This could be from yesterday to 6 months ago. The Nine of Pentacles. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. What is the unknown energy that may be coming in for us as we move through? Well, now, air signs. The Eight of Swords. Okay. Mental energy. Don't worry about it. Okay. And finally, what is the energy of the near or distant future from tomorrow out to 6 months? Perhaps. Well, look at that. It is the Eight of Pentacles. This is very interesting to me. I know y'all hear me say that all the time. Okay, so what is over the energy of the entire reading? Oh, well, the King of Swords. Now, I feel for some of you, this is actually a person. The way that, again, as I say, for those of you who are new to my style of reading, in my experience, a card can behave 3 different ways. It can represent 2 different aspects of yourself or one person. It could represent 2 different people, or it can represent a person and or a situation. So for some of you, this is an actual person. For others of you, it is 2 different aspects of yourself. I'm not picking up necessarily that this may be a person and a situation, but it very well could be, and we will look at that as we move along. What I have going on here, I have 2 Pentacles, 2 Wands, and a Sword card in the actual spread. And I have 2 8s. So 2 8s are always, repeater numbers are always significant. So let's start with the 2 repeater numbers first. 2 8s, you will receive news that will affect the relationship. Now, this could be any type of relationship. It could be familial, friendship, personal, romantic, okay? The other meaning of the 2 8s, and if I'm not mistaken, that is there's a slight concern in regards to a new relationship or partnership. And I just want to double check that for you. Hey, Luke, what you doing? Why are you in here? What's happened? That is correct. Implies that there may be a 2/8 may imply that there's a slight concern in regards to a new romance relationship or partnership. Now, I don't see any cups here necessarily to say that this may be a romantic relationship, but I don't know. Okay? Everybody's story is different. What I can say is, even though I'm reading for air signs, this represents either your personality, the energy that you are displaying. It could even represent the idea of what you do for a living. In other words, you may be a business owner. You are running your business yourself. You are an entrepreneurial kind of woman. You are a leader in a leadership. Maybe you're giving talks and seminars. Maybe you might be a coach or something like that. So this is how the card can represent several different things at one time. So don't think out of the box that maybe this is because you see this Wands Queen that it doesn't apply to you. But then on the other hand, if you're dealing with this person who is an air sign, typically he represents the sign of Aquarius. Maybe this is about this guy because he's sitting over the top of the reading. Okay? So the Wands always speak to me about your passion, your drive, your focus, your determination, your drive. The Pentacles are not just finances, but they also speak to what you have been doing, the third dimension. And the Swords just simply talk about thoughts, belief, perceptions, ideas, and or communication. So we start with the 3 in the center. And the 3 of Wands is this idea about after you've made your plans, now it's time for you to move forward. So you're looking to the future, to moving forward, some project, some idea, some new creative endeavor. What I like about this card though, because 3s can represent sometimes this idea that there may be a suspension of events. And looking at this card, it kind of says to me that in general, because he's looking at the ships going out. So if this is a merchant, maybe he's sending his ships out. Well, he's got to wait till they get there and then come back to see whether or not his venture was successful. Does that make sense? Maybe he's actually waiting at this particular point for those ships to dock so he can see how things went. Nevertheless, it says that there's something new on the horizon. You've made a decision to do something and now you're ready to move forward. Here we have the Queen who is in control and command. From the near to distant past, the 9 of Pentacles, I always love to see her because it talks about rewards, recognition, financial progress, perhaps, and stability. Only because, though, you see, the hawk is hooded. And so this is the idea that you've been able to tame your wild instincts, put your nose to the grindstone, and do whatever it is you need to do. For some of you, sometimes this card, and it is a 9, can speak to the idea that you are quote unquote a loner, or you spend time alone, or you do things alone, but you are the more, better for it. There she is with her accumulated wealth, in her fine clothes, in her garden with those grapes. Now, I don't know if you guys, I'm a gardener, and it takes a long time to grow grapes. The air's got to be right. The soil's got to be right. The water, you have to have the right amount of water. And so they may produce the first year, but those grapes aren't going to get good that first year. They're going to get better as they grow on. And grapevines live a long time, right? Also, to me, it could be an indication of a house move. There's only a few animals that I know that carry their homes on their backs. Tortoises, armadillos, snails. So sometimes I've seen this card show up when it could be talking about a particular house move or even a career move. Nevertheless, this card speaks about financial improvement for the better. But then something comes and it happens and it changes that. And now we feel as though we're stuck in a situation that we can't get out of. We don't see a way out of it. That's what that image says to me. But most of the time, this card, and I know it can be difficult for some of you to hear, can speak to the idea that whatever the situation you find yourself in or may find yourself in, it was of your own making. This is the difficult part of the 8 of Swords. But it also says that you are not in such a position that you can't get yourself out of. The bindings are loose. Remove the bindings. take off the blindfold, and you will see that you're not trapped in any way. You can simply walk away from this, right? The fact that she's standing over the water, it's kind of like your emotions are, I'm going to say, you're not really emotionally in tune with this. It is more of a mental energy. So this is the windmills of our mind: anxiety, fear, worry. You know, you're just kind of standing there. And the question becomes, did somebody take you there, or did you put yourself? And usually it's you put yourself in that situation. But then the energy that comes along is the Eight of Pentacles. And what this tells me is that at some point you are going to be able to at least mentally free yourself from this energy. But it's going to cost you. You're going to have to give up something. We go from a 9 to an 8. And the Eight of Pentacles is literally the idea of making money. There he is, making money. It speaks to a craftsman or an artisan or something like that. But it also speaks to the idea of doing something over and over again with repetition until you get it right. Now, this King of Swords, for some of you, if you're dealing with the person, this King of Swords is the reason why some of you may be feeling like this. But just in general, if this is the two aspects of yourself, it says that you need to adopt the qualities of this particular king. This particular king has a somewhat a good balance between emotions and logic. He's smart. He's sharp. As a profession, he can be a police officer, a soldier, a doctor, a chef. And when I said doctor, I mean a surgeon, a chef. He can be a writer, an editor, a scientist, an inventor. Okay, so anywhere where sharp tools or sharp intellect is needed to get the job done. Now, if this is somebody that you're dealing with, I tend to think he's pretty formidable, because he can sometimes just not bend, because he tends to think that he knows what's right. Okay, and he won't veer from that. But it's not an energy that can completely, what's the word, stop you from doing whatever it is. You may have to concede something to make this work with this particular king here. Okay, I don't have any major arcana, so this is not a spiritual lesson. This is something on the mundane, everyday level, something that you can actually get your hands onto and kind of work with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this Eight of Swords. What is all of this anxiety? And what did I say it was? It was a slight concern and news that will affect the relationship. And I have seen this card to say, if you've been waiting on news or information, it will be coming in that's going to help you decide what it is that you should do. And this could be simply the idea of having to wait for it. Okay? The anxiety of having to wait for someone's decision or word on something. I have this Queen of Wands here with all of these lions on her throne. So we do have the Lion's Gate coming up on the 8th of August. An extremely powerful time for manifestation. But you don't want to be in that energy manifesting, do you? So if you would simply stop and think clearly, you can come out of this energy. The 9 and 10 of Swords, I think energies are the hardest of the swords energy to come out of. This just simply says your mind is free, and your mind may be all tied up in knots, but your body is free to do whatever. But who controls your mind? Only you do. Nobody else does. So this, to me, sometimes is about beating back the ego and the fear. Okay, so let's take a look at this to see what it says. Speranza. Look at there. See the lion again comes up? The cards are funny like that. Hope. the domestico. Help. Viaggio. Trip. Well, that's interesting. Speranza, the hope card. But here we are, we're sitting and we're waiting. See, we've got our little anchor there. This is the idea. Don't give up hope. Things will be changing. Here, the domestico has come simply in the sense to help. He, in this deck, is known as the Knight of Clubs or the Jack or Page of Clubs. So this is the idea really as a verb that he's coming to help, and that it will be arriving, whether this is someone coming in or you having to go someplace. But it just talks about a trip and or a visit. Now, I don't know what that means, but we see this movement here in these particular cards. So whatever this is, air signs, I would not spend too much time. You know, there's this city. There's this city way back there in the background. See that? You can see it just over her shoulder here. I know my camera's kind of crappy. One of these days I'm going to fix that. And look. So it may be that you got to take a trip someplace, or that someone is coming from this quote-unquote city, locale, or location with news. Or at least assistance and help. Formulate your question. Now, this can't be true for everybody, right? But if you recognize the situation, know that an answer will be coming. Again, I would say that if you're selling something, making something, even buying something, okay, that the energies portend something positive. Doesn't mean that that can't change. All right, so I don't want anybody talking about, oh, I saw your reading and I bought this house and now it's just a money pit. No, it's still up to you to do the research. The scientist, the researcher. It's up to you. Okay? I'm just a card reader. Well, look at there. It's another castle town thing. Number 19. Isn't that interesting? The cards are speaking today. Now listen. The headstrong bold pursue their hopeless dreams, while cowards never act, but only scheme. Be bold, passionate, and challenge yourself before challenging others. Be careful of being overconfident, and be sure you understand what your true aspirations are. Well, in other words, don't just be charging ahead. Miss Tara said you need to do your own research. So that's what I have for you. I do hope those messages helped you for the month of August. Until then, be well, stay safe, and namaste. Bye.